My name is Rhapsody, welcome back to Slay the Spire. Now, I'm not going to be rolling the D20 of Justice right now just because I did check out what the daily challenge for today is going to be. And it is start with one rare card. That's the shiny modifier. You're playing as the Silent. Certain future, the map contains only one path. So there's no, at the very least along path lines, there's no variation between runs. But this one is interesting to me. Terminal. Whenever you enter a new room, lose 1 max HP. Start each combat with 5 plated armor. That, to me, seems super intriguing, because 5 plated armor is going to make it much less likely that you take damage. But there's the Silent starts with 70 health, and there's, in a typical run, 51 floors. So you're going to be on a maximum, assuming you haven't got some relic that increases your maximum health, or a curse or something, or some negative effect that decreases your max health. Just assuming it's only terminal that has affected you, you are going to have 19 max HP in the final fight. And even fully defensive builds oftentimes find themselves losing 19 HP against the final fight. So I'm actually really interested to try and do this one. Time for a challenge. We got Die as our opener. That's going to really help us on the opening floor to not lose that much in terms of our hit points, because Die is going to help us really control the AoE fights. That said, there's a certain path, so I don't really get to choose, but I should still have a look at it. I've got a rest before and after an elite, and I've got 1 elite, I've got 3 question marks, and I've only got an early shop. Or rather, I've only got an early guaranteed shot. One of the late question marks could be a shot. So a lot of this is just going to be trying to do all of the mechanical things perfectly. I've got to remind myself that I do have 5 free block every turn. Although I do have lethal here. Alright, explosive. What do we pick up here? It might be Skewer. Backflip is common. You can get another copy of it later. But Skewer, especially before I get to my first elite, it's nice to pick up a card that can output such aggression as a Skewer. This wasn't really what I was looking for. Beautiful. We've got 21 damage on that Skewer, so we can kill. Actually, since it does its 2 hits in a row, I could have just struck the frontliner and then done Skewer on the backliner, because I wouldn't have triggered the curl up in between the hits of the Skewer, so I only needed to do 13 damage to kill. That said, didn't make a difference. I like Blade Dance, but I don't have any support for it yet, and I should probably start to take some card draw as well as some defensive cards, so now I'll take the first Acrobatics. Sure, I'll remove a card from my deck. Probably here, better to remove an aggressive card. Here we'll remove another card from our deck. Okay. Yeah, we don't really miss out on anything amazing in this shop, so quite pleased. Move another strike. Pretty simple opening turn there. Potion. Between the Blade Dance offered before and the finisher being offered now, there is a viable Shiv build building up. Especially if you didn't remove a card in that shop and instead went for an Infinite Blades. But since we didn't do that, we're going to go Acrobatics. Alright, here I should smith either Skewer, Die, or Neutralize. I'm going to go for Skewer, because I don't know who this boss is, and unless it's the sentries, Skewer is the best option there. Beautiful. Skewer is the best option here. Really hoping to have my Neutralize in the next hand, which I do. Actually fully protected this turn. If I can get the Skewer, which I can, beautiful. So I can actually perfect this fight if I throw the explosive. I'm gonna do it. Anchor, start each combat with 10 block, and Adrenaline. See an Adrenaline, pick an Adrenaline. I'm going to start upgrading my AoE stuff as well, because next floor AoE is going to be extremely important. Art of War, if you do not play any attacks during your turn, gain an extra energy next turn. That makes a more defensive and turtly build, like the one that we are actually trying to create, much more viable. I'm actually going to Acrobatics looking for my die. Didn't get it. I screwed that up. I shouldn't have used the second defense. I was thinking I was going to kill this fat gremlin and stop myself from becoming weakened so that die was going to have the largest possible effect. If I'd attacked there, I would have incurred some damage. Just kill one of them. That weaken actually would have offset the enrage, so I could have hit the mad gremlin with a weaken that turn. Setup, we don't really have any expensive cards so far, although we do have some draws, so an upgraded setup at the cost of a card in our hand would save us an energy. If I had a 2-cost card in my deck, even one 2-cost card, I would justify picking up the setup, but I can't justify picking it up and then trying to earmark a time in which I can upgrade it. Just going to try and set the Spike Slime to within 1 strike of a kill. And it pays off. Beautiful. Double weak potion. There's a footwork. 100% necessary for this build, so we'll take it. Hell yes. Pick up an energy potion. Cloak and Dagger? Well, I mean, I have a footwork right now, so yeah, Cloak and Dagger. It's just worthy as a defensive card for us. So taking a golden idol is fine. I'm probably going to trigger taking 14 damage here rather than losing max HP, because that's 4 rooms worth of max HP. Whereas I do heal between floors, so losing 14 HP here isn't that bad. But even more important than that, in 14 rooms, I'm losing 14 HP anyway, even if my max HP is full. Like, so think about it like this. If I lose 14 HP right now, I go down to 43, right? And then in 14 rooms time, my max HP is 43. So if I take no damage that entire time, I'm still on 43 out of 43. Now, if I take no damage and have chosen a different option here, I'm still going to have 43 out of 43. I don't get to keep overflow HP. Okay, it's going to be Adrenaline looking for... Oh, that's really unfortunate. I was looking for the Skewer, in case you were wondering. Would have been a heck a lot more damage for us. Die, neutralize. Skewer. Didn't even need the neutralize, not necessarily. So for a sustained fight, an Envenom is actually quite powerful. And when you're talking about a build that is going to have low max HP, you're talking about a build that necessarily needs to be defensive, because if you take damage against your HP, it's so much more important than if you had high max HP, right? So blocking everything is more important, so you become suddenly more defensive. More defensive builds typically struggle to take down enemies that accelerate at a reasonable rate. So think about enemies that gain strength over time, like the Double Orb Walker Elite fight on the final floor. Both of them gain 3 strength each turn. A defensive build is going to spend like the first turn setting up some powers, and then the second turn setting up some weaknesses and some defenses, and then past that they start to hit. So you're already dealing with enemies that have +6 strength. So you're delayed in the amount, in the time of your build's impact. Envenom exacerbates that rather than making it easier. That said, a defensive build is going to be much more likely to be able to sustain itself while Envenom acts. I think Envenom would be good until the third act for us, and then it would be bad, especially if we fought Orb Walkers and Donu and Decker. I'm going to take a copy of Terror. Who's my boss on this first floor? Just gonna have to upgrade footwork. Footwork always will need to be upgraded, whereas the rest of these, there's nothing I really desperately want to upgrade this floor. I need to deal damage first. Because what I'm really looking for here, oh, fuck you, is a giant damage skewer. So skewer for 30 or terror and then skewer for 30. If I use the potion, the skewer goes up to 40 and that becomes 60. So we end up with... But I have no other AoE cards in my deck is the problem. So we can have a 60 damage skewer. But then I'm going to have a lot of difficulty dealing with the rest of the enemies on the field. I think we still have to do it. It's still probably going to be our best opportunity to split the enemies with a relatively low amount of HP, comparatively. Ugh. That was a frustrating turn. Sure. Giant hit, split the enemy. The unfortunate thing is now I've got 3 enemies on the field at the same time, which is garbage. It's not good. So we really need to thin that out if possible at all. If at any time it looks like I'm about to take damage, then I'll start to consider dropping a weakness potion, but not until that point. It does look like I'm about to take damage, and you know what? On top of that, it looks like there's no way for me to prevent it. A weaken here takes you down to 8. 11 goes to 8. So that's the largest amount of damage I can prevent with my weakness. And then a defend gets to 6. Even if I weakened both of these targets, I wouldn't do anything. In fact, even if I weakened both of you, killed this one, I would still take damage, which means this is no longer going to be a perfect fight for me. $11. Hang on. 8 goes to 6. 8, 14, 11. Yeah, no, I still can't fully block. Neutralize. 14, 16. 16 takes you down to 25. You don't even split at 25. Right, I'm just making absolutely certain, but there is no current way for this to result in me not taking damage. So I'm not going to be able to perfect this fight, which means I'm going to miss out on 100 bonus points. I thought I was doing quite well. So 7x times means I actually need to use it with no inhibition if I want to be able to kill the spike slime. So I should do that. Oh, I should have used the neutralize there as well, by the way. Got too close into my own head. If I've already taken damage in this fight, it doesn't matter how many times I take damage. It's fine at that point. Sure. All right, draw me. Oh, I mean, neutralize isn't even good for me anymore because I'm so weak. Neutralize, I meant, I actually did mean skewer. again. We take a wee bit more damage here. Since we do heal between floors, this isn't going to be that much of a problem for us, though. Perfect or nothing. Okay. Second copy of Venom. It's rough to see. I'm actually looking at that nightmare right now. Because I don't want Tactician, I only have 2 opportunities to discard in my build, the Survivor and the Acrobatics. I would likely pick up another Acrobatics if I had a Tactician in my deck. Taking Tactician. Sozu. It's 1000% Sozu. We're going to need money. And we're not going to make a super heavy deck, so Eternal Feather's not going to be particularly good for us. It's only going to heal, like, at this point, 6 HP every time we enter a rest site. And since we can't choose our own path, we can't even choose to go to more rest sites. So Sozu for the extra energy. No longer able to obtain potions, which means that I'm probably going to save this strength potion for literally the final fight in the game. And these 2 weakness potions just to try and perfect bosses and elites. Oh, this is garbage path. All right, we've got 2 rests. We've got a very late elite, and we've only got 1 shop super early. This is not good. I can acrobatics for free because I just discard the tactician. The skewer here just kills. Sure. Devalues my die, but it's fine. Alright, we're all covered now. Give me my skewer back. Or not, that's fine. You can see our defensive ideal is starting to really appear here in our build. I don't have... Like, I have 1 Shiv in an entire shuffle. I'm not going to take an accuracy. I don't think I can take a second backflip because I am looking for card draw, but my card draw has to be acrobatics so that I can really utilize this tactician effectively. So I don't want to fill up on other card draw. I can deal 40 damage this turn, but then the problem becomes, like, do I deal any damage with the rest of my deck after this guy is blocked for 20? Do I need to sustain myself for a longer fight? I think I do, so I'm actually going to drop a Footworks here. So I do 10 less damage, but I get the Footwork active, which is going to be pretty important for us, hopefully. Acrobatics is free. Why would I not do it? Terra was blocked by artifacting, which is why it didn't matter what order I did that in. And I used Terra there because I only have 1 other effect in my deck and it's neutralized. So I would have to shuffle my deck twice, draw neutralize twice in order to remove the artifacting and then hit him with the old razzle dazzle. And that was just never going to happen. Yeah, there's Skewer. Beautiful. Taking a single piercing whale is not going to be bad for this deck. In fact, it's going to be quite good. I'll pick it up. Especially because there's a lot of AoE and multi-hit fights on this floor. It may at some point be important to play Piercing Whale in this fight, so instead I'm just going to leave it in my deck. I was thinking, like, do I ever want to draw that card again? Yeah, I might. I took the gamble that I was going to draw Tactician, and I didn't. Oh, well. You play, you win, you play, you lose, you play, you win, you play. Dagger. Let's stab the back line. And at this point, there's pretty much nothing that Mystic can do to us. It's just not really an offensive powerhouse. And I'm pretty sure it very rarely attacks unless it's on full HP. Uh-huh. And got him. Reflex is not bad in a deck that I am intending to put some more acrobatics in. Only because it's upgraded will I take this reflex. I need the card draw more than I need the energy right now, so Survivor discards reflex. It's a really frustrating follow-up for us. Alright, we'll Piercing Wail this turn. I just need to have my footwork set up. Which I now do. Right, we'll die. Then deal 3. So we don't actually block you, but we do weaken you. You go down to that. We should be fine with this defend, right? Beautiful. Enfeebling Spores. Frustrating, but you're dead. Beautiful. You can see how often the Skewer has been my finisher, and especially since I picked up Sozu with the ability to give us extra energy, Tactician with the ability to give us extra energy, and Adrenaline to give us extra energy, as well as Terror, it is going to form a fundamental part of our build. We'll take Escape Plan because it doesn't have a negative effect on our archetype. Well, I mean, Reflex discarding Survivor discarding Reflex, rather, is 8 block plus 2 cards, so it's effectively an upgraded backflip, so we'll do that. That said, if I'd kept Survivor, I would have still had a way to discard. So what I could have done is backflipped and then Survivor discards the Tactician. Piercing Wail is just amazing here. I don't really want to waste damage here, so I'm thinking of skewering someone who's quite close to death. Or rather, not as close to death as some of the other characters on the field. Sure. So one simple strike kills the backliner. Didn't get it. Ooh. Defend, Terror, Skewer for the backline. We're still defended this turn. I mean, we did get a Terror out, which is good. Really want Tactician right now. Awesome. Awesome. We're in a great position now. Of being able to go absolutely ham on damage and still not concede any HP. Four and 9 is the kill on this cultist, and then it's just way too easy to defend myself. Beautiful. Ooh, upgraded acrobatics, though. We've got 2 cards in our deck now that we want to discard actively. Yeah, upgraded acrobatics, thank you. We got a problem. The problem is that Noxious Fumes, that dodge and roll, the calculated gamble, they're all incredible. But so would be the Frozen Eye, because I would be able to actually justify using my I would be able to plan out my entire turn, including my ridiculous amount of card draw in this deck, before doing anything. I think I'm not taking Frozen Eye, but I am taking Bronze Scales, and then I'm taking all of the other ones. So one of the big reasons I want to take Dodge and Roll is because Dodge and Roll is affected twice by Dexterity. It's affected in gain 4 block this turn, becomes gain 7 block this turn, and then gain 7 block next turn. So every point of Dexterity gets you 2 points of block, 1 this turn, 1 next turn. The Noxious Fumes is picked up because this is going to be really, really, really important in fights where I'm going up against an enemy who has artifacting. And unlike in Venom, it is going to be much easier to fit into our build. It's going to be much easier to play. And it does grow over time, and it is reasonable, but we're still insisting on doing some damage to try and keep up to pace and keep toe-to-toe with the enemies that accelerate their own strength. And Calculated Gamble is pretty obvious. We've got a Reflex and a Tactician in the deck. And we typically have quite large hands. So it's just a good pickup for us. Here, a case could be made for basically anything. I'm going to make the case that Tactician and Adrenaline both need to be upgraded because our energy is the thing that's lacking. Like, we have good energy. That's not wrong. We have an amazing amount of energy. That's probably a good idea. We have... Oh no, but maybe I go for the max HP. Hang on. Let me deal with everything else first. We have good energy, but we also have the ability to capitalize on more energy because we have so much draw in our deck. Every extra point of energy is going to be met with a card that I can actually play with it. So getting extra energy because I already have all of this access to cards is always going to be good. Also, it helps bolster our skewer and allow us a lot of the time to use our defensive options and then skewer still for a bunch of damage. Now, usually here the immediate option is to offer the Golden Idol, and then we lose the Golden Idol, but we get the Bloody Idol, which is every single time you gain money, heal by 5. But we don't really... Like, our whole game plan crumbles. It falls in the center if we start to take damage. And you can see I've been so vigilant about taking no damage. And that healing, you don't gain gold in the middle of a fight. That healing would happen at the end of fights. I think it's actually worse to give up my Golden Idol than to lose 11 HP here just to gain 5 max HP. Because that 5 max HP is going to be persistent for us. And... like, 5 max HP when you have 150 max HP doesn't matter that much. But when you have 19, 5 max HP is an extra 25% to your max HP pool. I'm going to take Sacrifice here. Mummified Hand. Whenever you play a power, a random card in your hand costs 0 for the rest of the turn. That's really good. We've got 2 powers. We want to go Adrenaline, then Noxious Fumes. But at the same rate, who's our boss this floor? Oh, it's the Sentinels. We're going to go Noxious Fumes first, then we're going to upgrade Adrenaline just before the Sentinel. Because we might have an AoE fight in this Elite upcoming. So we're now easily fully defended. I kind of actually want to discard this whole hand, but I also want to Acrobatics just so that I can draw more cards to discard so I can dig deeper. Do the same thing with a backflip. We'll actually weaken you. Let's get a new hand. You're super easy to kill right now. So let's see if I can find anything else I want to do this turn. Not really. All right, we're set up. And this enemy is going to get more and more poisoned. Acrobatics gives me an extra energy. Don't mind if it do. Damn it, couldn't give me Skewer, eh? And we're covered. So one reason to take Noxious Fumes over an Envenom, right, where I wouldn't take Envenom before, but I would take Noxious Fumes now, is Noxious Fumes is always going to apply, and we don't usually do 3 attacks to every enemy in each turn. So oftentimes Noxious Fumes is going to be way better for us than an Envenom would. And on top of that, it's nice to have one source of poison in a deck, especially a source of poison that consistently applies itself, like Noxious Fumes, because it brings an air of inevitability to a fight. You cannot stall out a fight when you have Noxious Fumes, because the enemy will just eventually get more poisoned and then die. And I know there is the edge case of the life-linked glob monsters on the 3rd floor, but let's ignore that because edge cases are edge cases. And when I make statements, typically I am speaking with regard to the whole in general, rather than the specific absolute edge breaking cases. In the same way as I say, there's never, or rather, the escape plan is almost always good to pick up. And then the edge cases are, what if you have Velvet Choker? What if you have Normality? What if you're playing against the Gremlin Knob, right? All of these kinds of things. What if you have a bunch of Pains in your deck? What if... You can come up with a million edge cases, but all of them are so unlikely. And oftentimes I'll reference them when they're available. Now, I don't know who the boss on the final floor is going to be, so I don't want to take another power, because it might be Awakened One, in which case I've got 3 powers in my deck, and I have to get through the first phase of Awakened One without playing them, and then I get to play them. Bouncing Flask? It's pretty good. It's actually quite good. If I had to burst in this deck, I would definitely take it. Without a burst? I don't know. I just don't know. I'm going to take it because it's upgraded, and I'm going to hope that I find a burst. If I don't, then Sailor Vic is my favorite Sailor skill. Alright. Beautiful. I've got another acrobatics in case I want to actually activate my reflex. There we go. And there's the burst I was talking about. So, quite glad I picked up the Bouncing Flask now. Although I do desperately need to find that burst. Found it. And I haven't played a single attack this turn, so I'm going to get extra energy next turn, courtesy of the Art of War. Okay. Now that I've played an attack, I may as well play all of them. I do want Piercing Wail, but I don't want it right now because I actually can adequately defend myself this turn. And I don't really have an option not to adequately defend myself this turn. I don't want to draw back into Calculated Gamble. I'm going to need to be a little faster than that against the book. 21 is rough, though. 18. I've already got 14 blocks, so 21, 14. I actually only need to play the Spire, and I'm covered. Mm-hmm. All right, easy. Beautiful! Fuck yes, this is exactly what I wanted. Snecko Skull, whenever you apply poison, apply 1 additional poison. Now, that means that a Noxious Fumes is to apply 4 to all enemies, which is so much better. And then Bouncing Blast is apply 4 poison 4 times. So instead of 12 poison, it is 16. When bursted, instead of 24, it is 36. 32. Blur is actually a great pickup for us as well. I'm glad to have that. Remove a card from my deck or upgrade all my strikes and defense. Now, I'm not actually... I haven't got an Apotheosis in the deck. it's probably way better for me to upgrade all my strikes and defense. Effectively, since these go to, you know, gain 8 block and these go to deal 9 damage, effectively, for my defense at the very least, I'm getting another footworks. I think fundamentally, it's going to be more important for us to upgrade the burst than the adrenaline in this specific deck. Although we need adrenaline, burst, then after that, probably calculated gamble, terror. But definitely burst first. It is going to allow us to be way more defensive. Okay. Unfortunately, the enemy has artifacting on, which is rough. We're mostly going to be killing with poison over the course of this fight. I really don't like that Die 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 turned up in my opening hand as well as Piercing Whale because they are needed later. You know, when all these enemies are on the screen. I do want to play a Blur. I'm really annoyed because these guys are going to take my burst. There it goes. And my adrenaline. Both of those in the same hand would be ridiculous, but no, they've been taken. It's fine. I don't need them. Alright, what can I do? Well, I'm already fully protected this turn. And there's really no reason to dig, so I'm actually just going to skewer. So you've killed yourself and given me the burst available for next turn. If I could now kill this orb, I would be really good position, but I can't, so I won't. 22. So this would be 22 plus 6, plus 5, I go up to 27 block. That's actually 1 short of defending myself. So I'm actually going to weaken you with a weaken potion. Because it's really important I start getting that poison active. And I do want to perfect this fight if at all possible. This turn, it is going to be just so important. Okay, you're going to give me my adrenaline now. Beautiful. But it's super important to get as much block as possible because I knew the enemy this turn was going to be using its large attack. Neutralize is going to keep you weakened for another turn. I'm quite happy about that. As much as I do want to adrenaline with the burst in hand, I just have to do it now. Die 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 probably isn't optimal to even be using. I don't want to damage you. I just want to poison you right now. So I'm going to neutralize you. I'm going to dodge and roll because that's a lot of defense. And then I'm going to calculate a gamble. I'm actually considering the skewer. No. I should be digging for options. Okay, I've got 9 cards in hand, so acrobats would draw 2. Okay, never mind. I want to strike acrobatics. It draws 3. Then I drop the tactician. I really wish I had the bouncing flask in hand right now because that burst bouncing flask would be amazing. But I don't, and there's no reason to be overly defensive this turn. So now it actually just is skewer. Damn, I was really hoping for the bouncing flask, but instead I got the setup for the bouncing flask. Awesome. This blur is actually really helping us, like above and beyond. And we're going to be able to perfect this boss. So we weren't able to perfect the first floor boss, but we will be able to perfect this boss. And if we keep this defensive build up, we may be able to perfect the last floor boss. Perfecting the automaton is not easy. Swift potion. I know the Corpse Explosion only works in a poison build, and I know that we have some poison. But our poison grows over time. I don't know if I want a Corpse Explosion that's a dead card until super late. I've never really been blown away by Corpse Explosion. And I formulated that sentence before I listened to it in my head. I play a lot of cards in a turn. Like, Corpse Explosion is going to be a large AoE on one turn, super late, whereas 1,000 Cuts is going to be a lot of damage in AoE all the time. And it's going to make another card cost 0. So it's even more impactful on the turn that I play it. I think it's 1,000 Cuts. Well, this isn't fair. It has to be Specimen, right? Yeah. Whenever an enemy dies, transfer all poison it has to a random enemy. And it is Dono and Decker at the end of this floor. That's rough. Okay. Awesome. 1,000 cards, and it did hit burst. Beautiful. We'll burst, and then I'm actually going to burst the acrobatics. That. I was really hoping to get one of my discard synergies, but apparently no. Ah, there we go. The fucking bouncing blast finally turned up. Great to see you. Very, very late. Sorry, I didn't say great to see you. I said late to see you. And we still didn't get the... Ugh, that's a really shite turn for us. Oh, this isn't good. Mm-hmm. Very late noxious fumes for us. Not good. You're gonna die as soon as you hit me. And there goes my burst. I love that they get super aggressive on the turn that I really can't respond to it. Thankfully, I had Blur last turn. The importance of Blur. No, Choke isn't the way that we deal damage. Bane could be. A single upgraded Bane, now that we have a Noxious Fumes and a Bouncing Flask in this deck, is 20 damage. With the vulnerability from Terra, that's 30 damage for 1 energy. Sadistic Nature is pretty good. Whenever you apply a debuff to an enemy, they take 3 damage. And we apply debuffs every single turn, courtesy of Noxious Fumes. We apply 1 debuff to everyone. So it's 3 damage to all enemies every turn. Actually, the more I think about that, the less important it is. We don't have any other... Well, we do have Piercing Wail, which is also a debuff. The more I think about it, the less I actually like Sadistic Nature. Oh, but at the same rate, it is a 0-cost power, so as soon as I play it, it's just going to make something else cost 0 that doesn't cost 0, so it's actually a mana accelerant. That said, extra energy in the first turn is pretty good, so is Toolbox. Extra energy in the first turn, Lantern, gain energy on the first turn of each combat, and Toolbox is at the start of each combat, add a random colorless card to your hand. So it's either Sadistic Nature or what? Like it'd be Sadistic Nature card removal? Yeah, this is a mana accelerant. This is a mana accelerant. The clinching factor is this is also going to cause the Bouncing Blast to deal 12 damage. And then we're going to go for a removal. I don't want to remove Survivor because I do want it as a element that allows me to kind of harm enemies. I will remove a Strike just to increase the consistency of my draws. Please don't hit Terra. Yay! It didn't hit Terra. But I'm still gonna use it on Terra anyway. I need to upgrade that 1,000 cards as soon as possible. See, hands like this, where I don't get any of my draw or discard cards, are garbage. Thankfully, I am fully protected still. Barely, but I am. Hey. Up. There's the Bane for a ridiculous amount of damage. Easy. Another Noxious Fumes. Sure. Lose 5 max HP? Never. Lose the Golden Idol for 333? Sure. We might not even have a shop later. We've got 2 question mark spaces, each of which could be a shop, but... Well, here I'm just going to need to play ridiculously defensively, so let's do that. It's definitely going to be Noxious, Burst, Blur, and the Escape Plan. Maybe I burst that backflip now. Alright, so 7 damage to all of our enemies. 7 poison, rather, applied to all of our enemies. Couldn't hit the Bouncing Flask, eh? Eh? Defensive. Just play defensive. There's no reason to be over the top aggressive here. All of our enemies are dead next turn. I just need to defend myself. Bye-bye, enemies. Lock Potion would have been a great pickup for us. Catalyst. This has become a poison build, like a wholesale poison build. This is gonna be a shitty thing. This whole fight, that is. Bane being upgraded is good if I can get a poison out this first turn. Alright, well, turns out I can't get a poison out this first turn. Not safely, at least. $25. I'm actually still not fully defended. Yay. And we got half of one of their HP down over the course of that turn. That's not horrible. Great, but it's not horrible. Good turn to get our Piercing Wail there. I'm not going to go back through my whole deck to play the Catalyst, so instead I'm actually going to use my triple right now on the enemy that's staying alive for the longest right now. Frontline is dead, right? Yeah. And beautiful, we're covered. Hell yes! Whew. And here I was almost worried. Regal Pillow, heal an additional 15 HP when you rest. It's not going to be active. It is Donu and Decker, right? Yeah. And we have a burst in our deck, so an upgraded double Malaise is not bad. We do need to upgrade 1,000 cuts, though. We'll do the Malaise right before the boss, because that's when we know it's going to be useful. I was really hoping that would hit Terra. Reasonable opener there. 25. Whoo, boy. since Malaise uses the rest of your energy and Survivor discards, I can't play both of them unless I discard my Cloak and Dagger. I think I have to discard the Cloak and Dagger. Ouch! That normal enemy gave us the what for? The business! Gave us the business! We do have a blur, so I'm actually considering playing a lot of defensive cards this turn. Right. And it's definitely worth hitting a Catalyst up. 58 per turn is nothing to be sniffed at. And we are covered. Hey, another burst. Don't mind if I do. I'm going to burst calculated gambles, get myself whole new hands, discard that whole hand, get myself a whole new hand, discard that whole hand, draw myself a ridiculous amount of damage. And boom. Blow up the enemy. No, it's fine. We don't have the Awakened one. I'm just terrified that we would have had the Awakened one, but we don't have the Awakened one. We're fine. All right, Ancient Tea Set. Whenever you enter a rest site, start the next combat with 2 extra energy. It's probably better for us to lose a defend. Both of the other ones are really important to us. I'm going to stack my defense. And I'm just going to get some poison out there, because that poison's going to pass around due to the specimen. Oh, by the way, I played the Noxious Fumes before the 1,000 cuts, just in case the Noxious Fumes hit the 1,000 cuts for 0 as a result of the Mummified Hand. So I know I lost 2 damage by not playing 1,000 cuts first, but I could have saved 1 mana. And that would have been more important than the 2 damage that we could have saved there. I want them all to be roughly equal in terms of HP here. Because that's going to make it so much easier to brutalize them. This would actually rest and fully heal me. I'm going to smith that Malaise, and then I'm going to rest after these 2 fights. Time to get powerful. Unfortunately, I am going to take 1 damage here. Because we had no defense cards in that hand. Burst the Piercing Wail. And the Terror. And that's because Piercing Wail and Terror both dealt 3 damage as a result of the statistic nature. And I knew I was already going to be fully defended anyway. Second Adrenaline. Unfortunately, we won't be able to upgrade those Adrenalines, but that's okay. I forgot that Reflex was going to be drawing cards as well. That's my bad. Ooh, this isn't good. A lot of buffs on the first turn there. Nine and 9 is 18, plus 7 is 25. And we're actually fully protected against that. I mean, I'm actually fine if they all attack. Just so long as it doesn't damage me. Footwork wouldn't actually be lowering the cost of anything right now, so I do need to get a card first. Burst Adrenaline. And we are covered. Woo! Ah, no. This is not good. Well, we're taking 2 damage this time. Ouch. All right. Fire potion would be handy as well. Can't take it. But here we will actually rest before the final boss. Immediately drink the strength potion. I'm gonna have to survive the reflex here because I need better cards to burst. Oh, fuck off. That's bad. That's not good. So I can burst the cloak and dagger for some extra damage. Ouch. Oh, that's bad. We didn't get any of our powers active in that first turn. We had a lot we really would have wanted to have happen on that first turn, and none of it did. Oh boy. So I'm actually going to deal with Decker last. So I'm going to neutralize here. Then I'm going to hit you with a weakness potion. You're going to lose all of your artifacting, and then I can hit you for a giant malaise. But you're about to damage me, and I'm just going to have to deal with that, unfortunately, because... Ouch. All right, so I am going to take damage. That's fine. At some point there, it was pretty clear I didn't really have a choice in that. That was just going to happen. And I needed to get on board. I screwed that up. I should have played my defend blur first, and then played the power, because that would have lowered the cost of the bouncing flask. I would have saved that 1 extra energy. That actually might lose us the game. Since we have Specimen, it is super important that we start getting this poison out wherever available. I will leave Piercing Wail in my deck because it's always going to be good. You're only going to attack for the next 2 turns, so... You being weak for only 2 more turns is fine. Ooh, didn't even attack in the next 2 turns. Yikes. Burst the escape plan to try and get some block here. Got some. And the defend. Beautiful. Now we're fully protected. I can Bane for a bunch of damage. A Skewer for a little more. Unfortunately, since the backliner didn't attack first, we're actually still roughed up here. Beautiful. Backline is dead. Frontline is dead. All right. Hell yes. We did it. We managed to succeed the daily challenge. Unfortunately, we did not manage to perfect this boss. We still should get a reasonable score. 857 is not bad. It's not bad. We did get 1 perfect and 3 champions. We also got a librarian. And money. We also, like, money would have been a bonus a lot of people would have lost because they would have traded in the golden idol for the bloody idol without thinking about it. Just going, oh, this is typically the better thing, and then traded. But thankfully we took the time to think about that. We could have gotten a second perfect, probably not against the first floor, but on that final floor, we probably could have gotten another perfect with just a better set of draws. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm pretty proud of myself. I should check, actually. Where do I rank in the leaderboards for that? Because I think I'm probably going to be less than like 200. I want to guess. Yeah, 79. Not bad, not bad. Beat it up where it... I was assuming that was going to be like a statement about the daily. Like, oh, I beat it up to where the, you know, where the orb walkers are or something like that. For the moment, that was actually quite a nice daily challenge. I actually really approve of that one. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves as much as I have, and hopefully we will see you next time, Jacinta.